Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. Today I am doing a special video. This is for Bela Rios, who requested this video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the request. So let's begin. Alright guys, so this video is for Bela Rios. She asked, can I share how I set up my pages on my budget book? So this is for you. Second, I have a 17-year-old called Arabella, by the way, and her name is spelled Eyrabela. So much for that one. That was kind of cute. Love the name, clearly. But let's start with books. So this book, it's a thick one. This one I purchased on Amazon. It has 320 sheets of paper, so it's a lot of sheets. I've been using this since I started this book in 2020 something. Let's see if I can tell. I think it was 2020 or 21. Of course I didn't put 21, so I started this in 2021. It has 320 pages. I'll link it below for those who are interested in it. The cover size is 8.42 by 5 by 7, so it's sort of like the same size as an A5. Here's an A5 Nordstrom. So it's the same size, except it has clearly more pages. This is what I used to use prior to this. And it's the same thing as dot grid. So the inside of these pages are dot grid. And I also have used TN size books. Same thing, but these are square. You can use square, you can use dot grid, doesn't really matter. You can even use a notebook. A plain old 50-cent, well, I don't know about now it's probably like 75 cents notebook. So it really doesn't matter what you use as long as you start and if you can afford it. If you can't afford a book, get yourself a regular notebook, a piece of paper, doesn't really matter as long as you start somewhere. Inside of my book, clearly, and every setup I have done has been around this size. So I'll show you an old one. So like last month or this month. Usually it starts with, so here's where my month begins. This is my whole entire yearly 2024 debt countdown. This one is just my sinking funds tracker. So I have that there. Then clearly I have an empty page for any notes, and then I keep a register. So you need a register for each account you're gonna have. So I have a main account for all of my bills. We do nothing with that account except for paying our bills. Everything comes out of this account for our bills. Nothing else. We don't use it for food. We don't use it for spending. Not just bills. Then we have the sinking fund, which is everything we have that we know that's gonna happen that we want to save for. So the sinking fund, you need another register for your sinking fund because that's how you're gonna keep track of your envelopes. Now, back in 2017, I believe, 2018, and I think all the way till 2020, we used to do cash envelopes. I would sit here and literally put money inside of envelopes, and whatever was in that envelopes, that's what we were spending for each category you see here. So I had an envelope with cash right now with $405 for groceries. I had an envelope for my taxes with $695 in cash with the 14 cents. I had a membership envelope for that amount as well. So for each envelope, I had the cash in it. I would go to the bank, withdraw the cash, and put them in each envelope. So obviously COVID hit and nobody was using cash. Clearly you couldn't go nowhere to the stores. You had to order things online. So this is where this system ended up coming along, and I ended up keeping it because we did good with it, where we weren't overspending. We actually used what was in our envelope, that we kept it this way. So you need basically the amount of registers you're gonna have. So it's basically depending on how many bank accounts you're gonna have, you need a register to keep track of it. I only have 2. Now if you have a personal spending, you need a register for your personal spending. So you would have maybe one here for your personal spending, and then you can go ahead and do the sinking funds. The other thing is, I have clearly the sinking fund tracker here, which is just tallying up every month how much we spent for that actual sinking fund. That's what this is. It keeps track of every month of how much I spent, because at the end of the year I'm gonna total it up, divide it by 12, and figure out how much I need to have in each bucket. So if you go here, I actually went through this, I think like 2 videos ago, when we closed out the year. Or actually, I think it was the last video. And I went in here, this is December. And in December, here's my whole total that I spent for the year. So when I brought it down here, I divided everything by 12 to compare how much I had spent for each of my envelopes, my sinking funds. Now you have to figure out, what are your sinking funds? Our sinking funds is, well, it used to be Nina. We had a dog. She passed away. So we would have her in a sinking funds for her food, her vet bill, her grooming. Everything was in that bucket for the year, and we divided it by 12, and that's how much we were adding to that actual bucket or envelope. I call them buckets, but you can call them envelopes. And when you divide them, so like the prior year we did the same thing. When you divide it by 12, we were giving Nina $100 every month. At the end of the month, we will fill up her bucket or envelope with the $100 in it. So what happens, you need to figure out what is your sinking fund. So we had Nina, which is right now, clearly Nina's not here, so now we did groceries. So we have groceries, we have our taxes. Now our taxes is our car taxes, car registration for the taxes. I had a motorcycle, so I had a motorcycle license. The taxes for our house, water is like a tax bill for sewer, so we pay that one under taxes. We have our property taxes from our Tennessee home, for like not the land itself, but more for the road, to take care of the road. That all comes out of this tax bucket, envelope or bucket. Then we have a membership. So we have Hulu, we have HP, which is our printer. We have Pandora. We have, what else do we have for, let's see. Let me go back so I can tell you what we got. Memberships. What else do we have? We have Bela's Apple Pay. We have Paramount Plus, Hulu, Pandora, the music Pandora. Bella still Apple Pay. We have Peacock. We have I think I said HP. And then at one point we did have magazines that were coming delivered to the house. That was all part of our memberships. So if you have magazine subscriptions that come out like once a year, that's a membership. We had AAA. AAA is a membership. It's like a Not sure if you know what AAA is, but it's sort of like an emergency services. If you need a gas, if you need your car to be towed, if you're stranded anywhere, that kind of thing, they will come and help you out. We had a membership for that. We no longer have it, but that was part of that bucket too. Then we have our car. So the car was more for maintenance. So you got to go for maintenance for your car. Every 3 months you're supposed to change your oil or do a tune-up. Once a year, well, every like 2 years you got to change the tires, buy some wipers, anything that had to do with the car itself. We had the car bucket envelope. So every time we took the car for maintenance, to change the oil, registration, any of that stuff came out of the car bucket. Christmas always falls on December 25th. It never changes, never will. So we have a bucket envelope for Christmas, and clearly we fill it up every month. So when it's time to start shopping, money is in the envelope or in the bucket, and you have money for Christmas. I actually use it for Christmas and gifts, so like birthday gifts, that kind of stuff. It all comes out of the Christmas envelope bucket. We have one for clothes, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have a 17-year-old called Bela, and she's still growing, so we have a clothes bucket. I can't say it's really for her. It's actually for all of us, right? So we put a certain amount in there, and whenever she needs, I don't know, a new pair of jeans, new bra, underwear, whatever she needs, comes out of the clothes, or either us. Like if we need a new pair of shoes, new clothes, anything like that comes out of the clothing bucket. Home, we have a home envelope, which is basically for anything that you can think about that you need for the home. Ours is based on what we're doing this year. I want to say when we first started the journey, our home bucket was more for toiletries, things you need for the house that break and you forget, batteries, light bulbs, things for the garden. I want to say 1 year, then we started gardening, so it became for things for the garden. What else? That kind of stuff. And I want to say then we had a cushion for any repairs. So we had like about $300 in there. That was basically if, something broke in the house and we needed to fix it. It came out of the home bucket. Then I am a sick puppy. I have all kinds of health issues. So I have a medical bucket because I do have an HSA card, but that always goes quick by at least, I want to say maybe August, September. We wipe it clean, so then we have to start paying the bills ourselves out of pocket. So that's what the medical bucket is for. I just recently started putting other, not because we needed it, right? Because you technically are supposed to use your bucket as you name them. But it was more because clearly Nina passed away. I needed to put that money somewhere, so it became like another. And it became kind of good because if I ended up being short a month, I don't know, in my medical, I can take it out of the other, put it into the medical. So it was kind of nice to have an other bucket or an other envelope. Let's see, what else? So when you do your register, the way I have it lined up, if you decide to do a bullet journal, which is a A5 size, I usually start counting the squares. So you have squares or dots. So what I do is I usually have one square that's empty for as things come into your checking account, you're supposed to check it off to clear out your account. And then I have 1, 2, 3, and then I have 4 squares for your total, 4 squares for your deposits, 4 squares for your debits. Then I go over here and I do 2 squares for the date, and then anything in between is for a title or whatever it was that you expensed, whether it was a deposit, whether it was a payment. So it's usually 1, 4, 4, 4, 2 on the left side, and then anything in between. But that's only if it's an A size notebook. Clearly, if it's a TN size, it's not going to be the same, right? Because you have less squares. So it's something you have to play with based on what notebook you have and how small or tiny you can actually write. And I have to change my battery, so please hold. Alright, sorry about that, but while I changed my battery, I remember I did save my TN size budget. So I can actually tell you how many squares I did of what. So this one was a little different because, as you know, it's a little shorter. This is a TN size, so you don't have a lot. But this one was just 1 square for the check off. I had 4 squares for the total, and then I had 4 squares.
By the door. Everything will be taken care of. Put by the door.
Sorry, people.
Oh, sorry.
And then we have 4 squares for whether it's a deposit or a withdrawal. I used it for both. It didn't really matter. And then we had the 2 squares for the date, and then anything in between for a description. So this one was exactly the same. You have a register for each account that you carry. I had a list of my bills and when they were due. This was the sinking funds, as you can see with the bright colors. And then here was my envelopes, my bucket. And then it started all over again for the next month. So it's just, you know, smaller because it's a TN size. You can do the same thing with a notebook. You just have to draw some lines on it. I didn't draw any. And make enough space for, you know, your register. Let's see, what else can I tell you besides my Squarespace? So you have a register for each account that you hold, because you should be balancing to your bank no matter what. And then for the envelopes, if you're using an A5, I believe it's 5 squares. So I have 5 squares for each envelope. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 envelopes plus an extra one, but I named it total. You really don't need it. So if you need more than 8, you can have 9. You can also probably, if you're not doing a lot of transactions on your envelopes, you can probably split this in half and have double if you like. Let's see, what else? This, as the months go by, is a tally. I think I said that. So in January, I only have whatever I spent in January. Then here's February. So if you have the total of what you spent, so you're just transferring everything over from here to here. So you'll see it's the same numbers going all the way down. And then February, it starts becoming more interesting, because then in February you're going to put everything you spent for February, and then you're going to total your January plus your February and make it a total. You're going to put it in the total column. So when you go into March, so then now we're going to have March. You have your total that you have here. See, you have your totals here. That's what you're going to put down for February in this column. And then when March is over, you're going to put your total of what you spent in March. And then you're going to total February plus March, totals your end of March, which gives you your number for April. And I do all of that all the way to the end of the year, which is what I did last week. And at the end of the year, I did the total for the whole entire year. So this is everything we spent for 2023. And then I brought it over here where I was able to compare my 2023 with my 2022. And then we divided by 12. So this is my dividing column, is this one. I took all of these and I divided it by 12 to find out how much I'm funding. And then I wrote down what I fund now on each envelope, which is what I have up here. So $4.50 for groceries. So every month, this is what I fund the envelopes. $4.50 for groceries, $170 for taxes, $85 for membership. Car is $165. Christmas is $165. Clothing is $125. Home is $330. Medical $250. And other is $160, which totals the $1950. So when I went and I wrote them down here and I compared it when I divided, there was not a big difference where I needed to change. So the concept of this is to find out, are you overspending somewhere and you're not budgeting enough for it? Then you change it and you have to change your direct deposit in order to reflect your change. So like, let's say taxes was not 170 for each bucket. Let's say we spent more money, like taxes went up or whatever, and it was supposed to be $100 or $200 instead of 170. That's something you have to change, because clearly you're not putting enough money in that bucket or in that envelope to sustain you for the year. So I would have to change the bucket to 200 and then change my direct deposit to reflect that $200. I hope that makes sense. So let's see. So when you do this section, so this is my January, because that's where we are right now. And this I don't fill out. So I don't care about December because that was 2023 numbers. I don't know why I did that. It shouldn't have been there. We only need January. Because and then in January, the January column is going to go in my February. And then you start adding January and February, and that's how it begins. So as I go now, and this was the beginning of my January. Now I go into my bank account because I only have one account, and I'm going to go in and check off as the things come in, because this is my bill account. So nothing comes out of here that is not a physical bill for my household. This is what makes my household run. Without this, clearly we wouldn't have a roof to live in, heat to heat up with, water to take a shower with. So the main account does not get touched for anything other than bills. We don't put food through here. I don't go spending money from here. Usually whatever is left over goes transferred to the savings, or it gets put into one of our bills that we're trying to actually pay off, or the Tennessee home. So right now, clearly, mainly everything is going to the Tennessee home, but usually it would go to the debt snowball. The sinking funds is the same thing. You would just go in and check off everything that comes in, and as it comes in, you highlight it, and then you take it out of your envelope or your bucket, because then you have to go in and obviously subtract it so you can know exactly how much money you got to spend. If you don't have the $405 in groceries, you should not be going to the grocery store to buy $405 worth of groceries, because you ain't got no grocery money, basically. So before we go doing anything, we always look at our balances. I also have an app that I have it on my phone in order to see, because clearly I'm not carrying this big book with me wherever I go. And I want to say the app is called Simple Budget. And then you can put in all the envelopes in there. I hope it comes out. Okay. All the envelopes in there. And then as you use it, you can go in and clearly subtract or add. So I left it alone so I can show you how this works. I gotta pull the information out and we're gonna do that next. I'm gonna show you what I do every week with all my accounts. Alright, so on the main account, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of this month to see what has cleared and what did not clear. So I usually start with my balance that I had when I first started. Now I can tell where I'm at. And this came out, so the 3,000 transferred to saving, went to savings. I got, wait, what? Wrong one. What was this? This cleared, this cleared. Usually the ones in the bottom always clear first. Then we have this that cleared. 150. Then we have a deposit that came in. So now I'm gonna put January 3rd. It was child support deposit. 154. Then it cleared. I'll do the math at the end. Then I've been selling stuff, so I was able to transfer the money that I sold in Pushmark, and that was $39.08. That cleared. Then we have the deposit for $69, and that cleared. And then we have the check for $13,000 that cleared. Then we had our life insurance that cleared. Then we have deposit for $477.43. It's the beginning of the year, so I get shares paid out. That's what that was. And then now, where's my calculator? Alright, so now I'm gonna take the $351.33, which is usually my cushion that I leave in my account every month. Everything else goes straight to the savings. So clearly anything else that comes in right now is gonna be deposits mainly, unless I write another check. Now this balance, I hope you people know that, you know, you got to go back and add all the ones that did not clear the bank in order to see if you balance to the bank. So obviously we have to do that because things are starting to come in, things are starting to clear, and you want to make sure that you are fully balanced to what the bank has. You don't want to wait to the end of the month to try to look for money, because it becomes harder. So 4116.94, I balance. Yay! Go me! Alright, so the next thing I do is, so I do this every Friday. I don't video record it, but I do this every Friday. Now I'm gonna go to my sinking funds. And then I usually do this first. Now I'm gonna go look for where I stayed at with my balance, which is 2530. 2530. So I'm off 1186. So BJ's 1186 came in. Plus 253052. That gives me 254238. Yep. Now I balance to the bank. I can see what worked and what didn't work. Alright, so now we have Amazon. PCP. This is medical. I gotta look at Amazon. $35.87. PCP's medical. Walmart. $39.99. That I know was home. Harbor Freight is home. We brought tools, so that's home. $21.75. Supercuts. Me and Bella got our hair cut. So that's clothing. That was $54.75. Exxon clearly is gas, so it goes under car. It was $10. Then I decided to forward into my savings challenge. $10 per bucket. I have 9, so I'm throwing 90 each month to my savings. And we have $10, and this was for other. And then I am not putting that because I transferred it out, so that doesn't count. Alright, so now we go here and we subtract all of this. Make sure we balance. I get 2, 2. No. 2, 2. Yep. So I get 2, 2, 10, 0, 2. And then all of these came in. And then now, what we're gonna do is, now you go into, first I gotta go into Amazon to find out. Oh, that was home stuff. I brought some new, what is that called? Muffin tray and baking sheets, because the ones I got started getting moldy. So that's what that was. Alright. So now you go into the obvious containers. And then the first thing I always do is I take out that savings challenge. So I'm gonna go in and withdraw $10 from each bucket. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Then you go one by one. Clearly Amazon was home, so I take out the $35.87. Medical was 70, so I take out the 70 in medical. $39.99 in home. $21.75 is home. Clothing $54.75. Car was 10. Already did the challenge, and 10 to other. Okay, now that I know what I'm withdrawing, now I put a little line, which clearly I have to do it to all of them because of the challenge. And now we start subtracting. Let's see, $405.99 minus 10. I get $395.99. $695.14 minus 10. $685.14, $267.69, $176.13 minus 20, it's $156.13, $87.48 minus 10, $77.48, $257.05 minus 10, minus 54.75. I get $192.30. $296.94 minus 10, minus 35.87, minus 39.99, minus 21.75, 189.33. 65.80 minus 10, minus 70. This one is negative 14.20 because it's the medical, minus 20, 248. Now we're gonna tally all the envelopes up and see what our total comes up to make sure we balance to the register. 156.13, 77.48, 192.30, 189.33, minus 14.20, plus 248.30, 21.98.16. Nope, did not. 21.98.16. Now I need to know why. Why am I off? Minus 22.10.02. Oh, the stupid 11.86. So I gotta add the 11.86 here because I did take it out the previous month. Totally forgot about it. See? So 407.85. Now we should balance. This is why you should balance every single week to your bank. If not, you'll be screwed at the end of the month. Minus 14.20 plus 248.30. Now I balance. So I usually just put the amount in here so I can know that I balanced once I calculated all these numbers. Now you're probably asking, Essie, hello, you're negative in medical. Yes, I know. But I have $248 in my other bucket. And if I want, I can transfer it over, right? But this is a new year. So we're in 2024. And my HSA card is fully funded. So I no longer need to basically use my medical envelope anymore. So I can either let it accumulate every month until it actually, funds itself. So next month it'll fund itself. Or I can take from other and add the 14.20. I'm gonna leave it alone because clearly I got my HSA card and I can use that. So it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Now that we did that, now we're gonna highlight our life away. So medical, I got blue for medical. It's just satisfying to just highlight. I find it very satisfying. Clothes is brown. Home is orange. Car is yellow. Other is purple. And the BJ's is clearly the pink. But because it was a positive, I do highlight the positive amount in green because it was a positive. So just so I can poke it out and see it. And that's just satisfying. You don't need to highlight, but it's just satisfying to do so. I'm just saying. So now that I did this, I'm going to show you how, look at my grandbabies, how the envelope system works. Clearly, I did not do anything to it because I wanted to show you guys. Alright, I had to figure it out for a minute. I haven't been using it that long. But it enabled, so when you go into your setting, you have to obviously allow negatives. If not, it doesn't let you. And then enable for the rollover to happen. So I forgot to click on that, and now my car balance is not the same. So now I'm gonna have to go in here, put the 176.13 as a deposit, save it, and then now you hit the plus sign, you do $10, and then as long as you don't hit deposit, then clearly it reduces it. So plus, then you hit 10, save. Now I have my 156.13. So I think what happened was when you create these, it asks what's your budget for. So when you create the envelopes, it's gonna ask you your budget. I think I had put an amount in there and I shouldn't have. That's what happened. And then I did not have the rollover amount happening. So all of these are clearly gonna be wrong. So close, where's the close? Right here. Son, making me double work here. But that's good because I get to show you guys. So I'm gonna hit deposit. I'm gonna hit my beginning balance of 257.05. Then I want to hit save. Of course, hit the plus sign again because I want to withdraw the 10 for the savings, and then the 54.75. Now I don't put any description in here whatsoever because I this is my true is the book. So if I need to know something, I can just come back to the book and see what happened. This is more of if I'm in the store with hubby or something and next thing you know, he wants to buy something, he can just ask me what we have in the budget. I can just click on here and see it. I don't have to bring this huge book with me anywhere. So let's see, 405.99. Save. 10. Save. Then now I'm depositing the 11.86. 11. So you have to hit deposit in order for it to work. I hope you guys can see this. So now my total for the groceries is 407.85. I can't believe I forgot to enable that stupid thing. And I forgot that I had put a budget in all of these. I've only been messing around with this thing for, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. I had it for a few months, stopped using it because we weren't doing anything or going anywhere. So it became useless to have. I used it years ago when I first started. But and then stopped using it because I used to carry my bullet journal everywhere. So, but not no more. 35.87. So this becomes very handy when you're out and about and you don't want to carry your book or you don't have it on you. You forgot it at home. But the only bad thing about this is you have to keep up with it, obviously, to make sure you have the correct balance to each envelope or each bucket that you have. So there you go, 189.33 for the home memberships. So now I gotta actually delete the budget that it had. Save, and then you can pick a color. As you guys saw, there's plenty of different colors. I don't have enough for each and they don't match the colors that I have on here, so it aggravates my soul. So that's why I have them all like a light green. And then the ones that we use the most, I highlighted them a darker color. So the groceries in a different color. And then we were just doing Christmas, and Christmas sort of pops out at you. So that's why Christmas is in red. The rest are in the light blue color. Alright, let's see. Medical. Medical has nothing on there. 0. Okay. So medical is 65. Hope the glare is not bothering you, because it's bothering me. 65.80. Then we have 10. And we have 70. Let's see if the negative shows in bright red. Nope, just shows negative. But at least you get negative. Other. Let's edit, delete the budget. So here's where you put the name, the budget. My suggestion is don't put a budget, because it's going to erase everything. Leave it blank. And then you have 7 colors to choose from. So I say do not put a budget on there. And then let's withdraw the 10 for the savings and the 10 for whatever that was. And then get out of there. I got 248.30. Yep. And then now taxes. Gotta change it. Phone is about to die, which is not good. Transaction, deposit, 695.14. And then withdraw the savings challenge. And then 685.14. Yep. And then Christmas. This, okay, that has a 0. Good. So it was 87.48 deposit, and then the $10 challenge, and that's it. Now this balance clearly balances with what we have here, which is the same thing that we balance in the register. So this thing is called Simple Budget. It's in the App Store. It's free. That's why it has ads in the bottom. I think you can pay for a better one. But I think it's because they only give you a certain amount of envelopes. These are the only amount I've always had, so I haven't had the need to have more envelopes. And there's other apps out there actually that look differently, act differently. This is the only one that I gravitated towards. I liked it, the colors, the concept of it, the way it looks when you open it up, how it gives me my balance, how I'm able to do my 9 envelopes. So this is the one that I just stuck with. But let's see, what else we got? I think that's it. So once again, let's recap before I go. It's getting late. So you can just get yourself, I will put the links below for this book, because this was in Amazon. You can use a Lordstrom, any A5 bullet journal. It has the same amounts of squares or bullets on it. Don't forget, you can also use a TN size notebook, as long as you figure out how you want to write it down. And you can also use a notebook. There's nothing wrong with using a notebook. You can just put on a couple of lines in there to make your register. You can also just flip it over, do your buckets. It's a free-for-all, right? And it's only like 50 cents. But as I said, I have a register for each account that I have to balance out to any banking. So we, as I said before, we have the main account for bills only, nothing else. Then we have the sinking funds, which is for everything that's bound to happen, that you should be planning for, that clearly people don't plan for, and that's called the sinking funds. I want to say I've seen people do sinking funds for, clearly, if you want to save for a car, you can put a bucket in there for saving a car. You can put sinking funds for, I want to say Lexi, my daughter, has a sinking funds, and her sinking funds has the babies for diapers, baby food. She calculated like how much she'll spend between baby food, diapers, and wipies, and she has a sinking funds for that. What else can be a sinking fund? Medical, clearly. Anything that I guess life can throw you a curveball, but you want to plan for it. If you want to buy yourself a new refrigerator, that can be a sinking fund. You just have to put it in there, divide it by the 12, and put that money to the side. Set it and forget it kind of deal. And you can save out of it. So we keep a register for that. Then I have, obviously, each bucket and each envelope for each one. And we keep track of it every week. And we do have a... I don't have entertainment in here because I separated the entertainment into a Chime account, which is another, it's like a sort of like a banking, but not a banking. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a Chime account. I put in $100 in there, and that's all we spent for food if we buy any. And once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't get refilled again until I get paid again. So if we don't have no money in our Chime account, we don't buy food out, like going out to eat or any of that stuff. So that's separate from here. The reason why I separated it, I think at one point I used to have it together with the sinking funds back in, I want to say maybe 2018, 2019. But then I realized that I was overspending on entertainment because I would steal from Peter and pay Paul, basically, like not care, because, you know, technically I could take it out of one of the other buckets, which you're not supposed to be doing. So I learned my lesson. I opened a Chime account, kept it separate, and once it's gone, it's gone. We don't go buying any more food. We just end up doing do with whatever we have at home. So clearly learn from your mistakes, right? Because you want to get better at budgeting and doing all that stuff. I think I explained it as much as I could. Here is my February one, is already done. And that's it. I think that's all. I don't have anything else. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out again if you like. Thank you for watching. God bless. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I also have a playlist on everything budget going back all the way to 2016. You can see our ups and downs going all the way back to 2016. I mean, that's when we started our journey. I think it was 2017 actually. And we did not take this seriously till 2019. So you can see the number difference if you want to go all the way back to 2016 or 2017, one of the beginning videos. And I want to say we fell off the wagons a couple of times between 2016 all the way to 2019. And 2019 is where we pinned down and took it more seriously. And I want to say, thank the Lord, we have not fallen off that wagon. If anything, we have gotten better at our budgeting. We have killed it with paying off a lot of debt. So go back, look at the videos. Clearly, I was a first-time YouTuber, so I speak very low on some of them. I was very shy on a lot of them. Please forgive me. You can even see me stuffing my envelopes. I believe I have a video out there showing you how I stuff my envelopes with cash. Yeah, so thank you for watching once again. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.